Now, we got more stories. We got more Democrat losing. The Democrats are getting pummeled in this whole Russia hoax thing. But at the same time, the Republicans have figured out how to fight fire with fire. They have figured out how to govern, at least some of them. So the Texas state legislature is redistricting to basically add 5 Republican seats, subtract 5 Democrat seats, and the Democrats went absolutely nuts. Well, so in order to try to prevent this from happening, the Democrats staged a walkout. They fled the state to deny the legislature quorum so they couldn't vote. Well, that didn't go well because basically the Republicans didn't just roll over. Abbott and the state legislature Republicans basically said, okay, we're going to file warrants for arrest. We're going to file charges for bribery. We're going to dry up the money from Beto O'Rourke. We're going to get the FBI involved. We're going to charge you $500 a day. We're going to freeze your bank account so you can't get direct deposit. This is all amazing stuff, and it has led to one inexorable conclusion. The Democrats just blinked and are losing again. Check this out from our friend, Dr. Steve.
It's being called the Great Texas Democrat Spectacular Fail. After fleeing their own state, abandoning their sworn duties, and hiding out in the single most gerrymandered state in the nation, Illinois, in their own hypocritical protest of Texas's supposed gerrymandering, the Texas House Democrats have admitted total and complete defeat. Now, of course, they're doing their best to desperately try to spin this as a win, but even the legacy media is wincing at the cringeworthy attempts at gaslighting here, made all the more obvious against the backdrop of the Texas Senate passing the redistricting map just yesterday, making the 5 GOP seat pickup in the state inevitable. And once again, not to be outdone, Democrats in the Texas Senate stormed out of the chambers as well in the face of this colossal loss. Once again, the entire nation is watching these supposed defenders of democracy refuse to participate in the democratic process.
Where Republicans get 40% of the vote and have 0 seats. It's absolutely crazy stuff. So the Texas Democrats fled to the most gerrymandered state in the union, and even the legacy media cannot defend these people because they're in the most gerrymandered state in the union. It's absolutely ridiculous. So it is utterly failed. The inexorable conclusion is that they will pass the redistricting. The Senate has already passed it. The House will pass it as soon as these people return and they get quorum. Here's another lifeline on the story. All right, so they have returned. They're returning. Here they are getting back on the plane in order to return. And one of the reasons for this is because the Republicans didn't roll over. Like I said, Abbott immediately took and said, no, we are not only going to charge you with potential bribery, we're going to ask for warrants for your arrest. Oh, and we are going to remove you from your office for dereliction of duty, for basically abandoning your office. They immediately sued Beto O'Rourke, who was the money, his PAC was the money behind all this, and said, not only will you not provide any more money, if you do, we're going to charge you with bribery. Then they fined them $500 a day, said that they could not get any of their state house money via direct deposit. It had to be in person. They essentially froze them out of the process and hastened this whole thing. They tried this once before, a few years ago, when Texas was doing something. This, I think, was the Voting Rights Act, and they refused to participate, and that failed miserably too. So they've now failed on this. I think it's 3 times they've tried this, and every single time has failed. But here's another story reiterating the fact that they are returning now. This is great stuff. This will pass, and the Republicans will pick up 5 seats in the House before the midterms.
ABC 13 did confirm this afternoon that the Texas House Democrats are going to come back to the state for a second special session. The timing of that still uncertain. It really depends on when that second special session begins, which could be as early as Friday. Now, since our initial reporting on this at 4 o'clock, the Texas Democratic Caucus reached out to our partners at ABC News and asked the language be changed. They initially asked for a correction and said that no formal decision had been made, that returning to Texas was among many options. Nobody from The Democratic caucus reached out to me asking that we correct our reporting or make any changes. However, we do want to include language that they sent to both us and ABC News. Members are still assessing strategies going forward and are in private meetings to make decisions about future plans currently. If and when Texas House Democrats breaking quorum decide to go home is squarely dependent on the actions of the governor, speaker, and Texas Republicans in charge with regard to prioritizing flood victims over redistricting that hurts Texans. Now, that came 40 minutes after our initial reporting, and we only went forward with that reporting after.
So they're returning. They don't want anybody to know they're returning. They don't want it to be in the news. And they're also getting blasted here in Texas because when they walked out of bills that would have given money to the flood victims in Kerrville. Everybody remember Camp Mystic and the 23 girls that were lost in that. Children. They're denying them not compensation, but they're denying them aid and help. And all the people who lost their homes, they're denying them help and aid because of their stupid little temper tantrum because they don't want to pass redistricting, which is the right of the Texas Republicans to do. This is absolutely awesome stuff. They will get this done. This is a foregone conclusion now. The Democrats have lost. They've got egg on their face. They look dumb. They look weak. They look stupid.